I love it. It drives great. I think all of our customers are going to be super happy with Whipple's calibration for the Bronco Raptor, especially with that new update that they have available. Here we go, guys. Let's do a rip. Nice.
Ooh, Jared, those shifts.
Wow,
crispy
man.
shifts.
Damn. What's up, Team Lethal fans? You got the Mustang King and the Average Joe in the house. We're inside the Lethal Performance Bronco Raptor. This is Whipple tuned. That's right, we got a calibration on here from Whipple Superchargers, which is a full flash. Both the PCM and the TCM have changes made to them. Now, our last video was over at the dyno at Palm Beach Dyno, where we did some baseline testing and then tuned it with the Whipple calibration and ran it on the dyno again, where we picked up 50 wheel horsepower and about 50 wheel torque. Is that wheel torque? 50 real?
Yeah. Rear wheel torque.
How do you say it?
I say
rear wheel torque. Yeah. 50, I can't even speak today, guys. I'm so excited. So, well, what's exciting about this is basically our driving review of the vehicle with the Whipple calibration on it. And you know what, I've been driving it since that day on the dyno, and this thing drives awesome. I mean, it drives basically like stock, but when you get on it, you feel the extra power as well as those transmission shift changes that Whipple made on it. Not only that, the auto start stop button feature has been disabled, so it's real nice. You know, you don't have to keep on hitting that button off and stuff like that. It's pretty annoying. So now we actually are running an updated calibration from the first one that we ran on the dyno. Some things that Whipple changed, they were getting feedback from us and other people who were running the calibration, and they took our suggestions and made a few changes to the calibration. A few of those changes are going to be, one of them we're going to see more mid-range torque than we did before. They did some more tuning mid-range, as well as I believe they add a little bit more timing in the tune for the calibration, as well as took care of some like hanging shifts. There was a few people who suggested or saying that they were having some shifts hang like in the higher RPM range, but they made those adjustments and we are running the newest updated cal. Lastly, with the Bronco Raptor factory calibration, if you put the vehicle in manual mode and you're off-roading in it, they would allow you to shift from first into second gear and start your run in second gear manual mode. Whipple took some suggestions from some customers who were saying that the second gear launch in manual mode still really isn't that great for like off-roading and a lot of dirt and sand and stuff like that. It simply has too much power and torque down to the wheels at that point to where it would spin the tires. So Whipple has made the changes to also allow you now to not only start your run in first, second, but now in third gear and manual mode. So kudos to Whipple Superchargers, great job, Dustin. I like the fact that these guys take customers' suggestions and recommendations and feedback and update their calibration. So if you guys are running on an original calibration from Whipple, which still runs awesome, you're more welcome to reach out to Whipple Superchargers Direct and get yourself the newest calibration. So when we were at the dyno, it was like pouring rain that day. It was like a terrible week here in Florida, just non-stop rain. So we really didn't get to feel how the Bronco Raptor drove with the Whipple calibration after we left the dyno. We know it was making a ton of power, and we've been told about the awesome shift points and everything else, but we never really got to take it out. So I'll note that on the Whipple calibration, all of the drive modes work exactly how they did with the factory calibration. However, they are enhanced with more power, more torque, as well as with some shift point changes. So you're really not going to notice anything different. Again, you put it in sport mode, really going to have the same characteristics of how it drives, how the suspension is, how the exhaust sounds, all that stuff functions the same, just with another 50 wheel horsepower and foot-pounds of torque. So right now, this portion of the drive is just to feel how it drives, let you guys kind of experience it from the inside and outside of the vehicle. We're in sport mode right now. The thing drives so smooth, shifts like butter, and I've noticed it definitely gets rid of a lot of that clunk. I'm not sure if you guys have seen it, but in like sport mode, going slow, slowing down, and sometimes the transmission would do like a weird shift and have a clunk to it. With the Whipple calibration, I've not experienced that. Super crisp shifts on there, and you've got higher rev limit, you got a higher speed limiter on here as well, And again, with that extra power, it's definitely noticeable when you put your foot down on that pedal.
Yeah, I mean, usually riding passenger in this thing, it's you definitely feel every downshift, every mark, especially Jared. Jared likes to drive in sport mode, which, you know, I don't blame him, but it makes everything a bit more aggressive and honestly maybe even too aggressive. You know, sometimes you really don't want to feel that, and it almost feels unnatural for the car to be doing that. Whipple definitely cleans it up quite a bit. While it still feels aggressive, it's not so much as that like
harshness.
Harshness is taken away from it. You know, not to the point of where you don't feel like you're in a different mode anymore, but it definitely helps with, I personally think, probably the health of the transmission. You know, a lot of those transmissions don't really like that, you know, that wham, you know what I'm saying, that impact, that rough impact, the behavior, especially torque converters and everything.
If it's making clunking sounds,
right,
it really can't be that good for it.
No.
So the fact that they care about, you know, the vehicle, the comfort of it, as well as the safety and longevity. I mean, it's like, you know, these guys aren't comfortable putting out a product that they know is going to damage anything on your vehicle. That's the last thing they want. They want to put out the best product as possible. And just like their supercharger business, where they're always improving and redesigning and coming up with the newest generation, they do the same thing with these calibrations. You know, if they get feedback that says there's an issue with something, they look into it, they try and replicate it, and they try and fix it, and then they push a new calibration to you guys. We have not dynoed the truck with the new calibration or the Whipple Mega Cooler on here, but we definitely do plan to go back down to Palm Beach Dyno and do that dyno testing to see what differences there are with the Mega Cooler on there, and if the calibration really made any, you know, big changes as far as power wise. From what I was told, peak horsepower numbers and stuff aren't really going to change. It's more so just that torque in the mid-range, we may see a nice bump from where it was before. I hope you guys are enjoying my fresh new cut here. This is probably the end of my mullet. I know I've been called the mullet scarecrow guy from Lethal Performance, the mullet scarecrow.
Yeah.
You know,
those downshifts they are a little different. You can hear them.
Yeah, but they're still. I mean, sport mode always has that boom,
right?
Boom,
but it's not as like. To me, it almost feels like a kid that's missing the. Before the calibration, it almost felt like a kid that was missing the downshift. You know?
Yep. All right, sport mode. Here we go. Sport mode. Let it rip. Super smooth, though. Super smooth, guys. Yeah. Wow. I should probably slow down.
Yeah. It's only 50.
Yeah, exactly. 50 plus, whatever number makes that. Yeah, it feels awesome, though, man. I mean, this thing drives really nice with the cal on here. So they have the capability. I know a lot of people use the term crack the code, you know, crack the PCM. These guys don't, I wouldn't even use the term crack the PCM. They have full access to it because they work so close with Ford on their projects and stuff. They're using basically Ford software. Your calibrations from them are being uploaded onto a Ford server. So when Ford pushes an update, an over-the-air update, it's not going to flash over your Whipple calibration or anything like that. You'll still get some of your, you know, your lighting features and radio updates and stuff like that will be updated, but the actual calibration does not get written over, and that's what Whipple has over anyone else. Full flash, PCM, and TCM. A lot of people also asked us on the forums and our YouTube channel about what boost the Bronco Raptor makes with the Whipple calibration, and it's about 19 PSI. So there you have it. All right, so like I was mentioning, once you put the vehicle in manual mode, you can actually put it in first or second gear from the factory. However, Whipple has opened it up, so now you can go into third gear launch with manual mode. Kudos, Whipple, good job. Here we go, guys. Let's do a rip. Nice.
Ooh, Jared, those shifts.
Wow,
crispy shifts.
Damn. So smooth. I think I might have hit the limiter in first gear to first and second gear, just a tad. I was a little shy on that one. It's been a while since I've been behind the Shelby racing with those quick paddle shifts, but man, that felt good. Real nice. You heard the blow-off valve go off.
Yeah, right at the end of first gear.
The throttle closed, Yep. But still, otherwise, through the rest of those, man, I was banging them out, dude.
Bang! It's amazing how quick the shifts are with this. Yeah. I mean, generally speaking, when you use paddles on a, you know, it's something that's not a dual clutch, you know, DCT transmission, it's usually, you know, some garbage like you're waiting there, 1 1000, 2 1000, 3 1000. this has probably a very close timing to a DCT there.
Yeah.
I mean, that was impressive on how quick those shifts are. When you, from the time you slap the paddle to the time it actually engaged.
It was good. It was like a tap, boom, there.
It was there. It's amazing.
I'm curious. I've actually never raced a Explorer ST, and we know that the Bronco Raptor is a very similar platform, as in the sense of having a 3-liter twin turbo and a 10R60 transmission, and they do have the paddle shifters on the ST. I wonder if the ST acts in the same way, where the shifts are just as fast, or they're different. You know, I would think they're probably the same.
It's close, but man, I don't know. That 60's that's a different animal, man. You know, the 10R80 is, and this thing is we know it's a bit more of a beefier transmission. I imagine they probably can get away with a little bit more aggression on it without having a failure. But I don't know, that 60, man. It's interesting. It's an interesting thought.
Definitely. I'm going to give a little teaser, a little hint here for you guys as well. We haven't publicly put this out there yet, but word is on the street that we will be seeing a set of upgraded turbos here shortly, as well as the ability to tune them. Now, I know that with the upgraded turbo, we're probably going to be pushing the fuel system out of its range from the factory, so we'll be looking into doing a high-pressure DI pump, as well as some larger injectors to help be able to support the power that those turbos are going to make. But we're going to see some turbos here in a few weeks, and you guys will definitely see what's going on to get that. I'm excited. No one else out there, I don't believe, has done a turbo swap on a Bronco Raptor, because really no one has the ability to tune them except for Whipple. Did I mention the turbos are going to be coming from Whipple?
No, you did not. That's what I was going to ask you next. So
oh man,
Whipple's
Dustin
cranking turbos now.
Oh yeah, man, look at that. That's good stuff. Yep.
That's interesting.
Yep. I'm not quite sure if it's actually going to be a Whipple branded turbo or not, but I know these guys are working very closely with the manufacturer on the turbos, and that we should see something very shortly from those guys. And I guess maybe at that point we might be able to test some other goodies that our friends over at TurboSmart sent us, some internal wastegates, which we may be doing. So we'll see. Shout out to my man Marty and Chris over at TurboSmart. You guys are great too. So listen, we've bored you guys enough with all the drive review. I mean, this thing, I love it. It drives great. I think all of our customers are going to be super happy with Whipple's calibration for the Bronco Raptor, especially with that new update that they have available. So again, if you have the first version, you can reach out to Whipple Superchargers Direct, and they'll get you set up with the newest calibration. But now it's time for us to do some draggy testing. So come along, let's slap the draggy on here and do some 0 to 60 times.
Yeah, that was good. Oh yeah, yeah.
Damn, boy!
Yeah, usually, I mean, riding passenger in this, I mean, yeah, usually riding.
That's a good bloop, right? Just like me.
I know.
Yeah.
It almost feels just brutal on you. Brutal on the transmission.
It feels boodle, guys.
It feels boodle.
Hey, boodle. Joe's got the boodle. He's got a huge boodle.
But donk.
But donk and donk. Happy 420, Joe, by the way.
It's a little late on that, but yeah.
Well, no, it's 420 right now.
Oh, the time, yes.
Yeah.
You're talking about the date.
Happy 420, Joe. There you go. Bronco Raptor. Bronco Raptor.